It's August 25th, 2024, and I'm with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, and they're reading his book, Their Mother's Sons. It takes him from kindergarten to his retirement, including growing up with his mother on Orleans Avenue, getting drafted into the military and fighting in the Battle of Bulge, coming out, working at Kimberly-Clark 35 years, and in the meantime he had a family, a wife named Delphine of 69 years that just died August 14th, 2020, and he raised a family, and also, besides running the laundromat, he had a snow plowing business and did a lot of wallpapering. Did you want to add anything? Did I miss anything?
You miss anything?
Yeah, fill me in.
I did some woodworking.
Yeah, Mr. Jeckovich was accomplished woodwork. He would build decks and benches and dressers and what else?
Yeah.
We built a whole
Bookcases.
room. You built a whole room in your house.
Yeah.
It's first class. It's
Restored jukebox.
And he restored old jukeboxes. A jukebox from 1938, 1942.
Wired it all up and everything, yeah.
And then Mr. Jeckovich also restored an 1881 pinball machine.
Oh, yeah, that wooden one, yeah.
Then he also built bars out of the front ends of 59 Cadillacs. He also built bars out of 59 Cadillacs, and he built for his grandsons these beautiful gun cases.
Oh, yeah, the revolving gun case, yeah.
Yeah, it stood about 8 foot tall, all glass, and revolving gun cases.
8 guns.
8 guns. It's amazing that Mr. Jeckovich never owned a gun or pulled the trigger of a gun after he left World War II, but all his family members seem to carry lots of guns. They carry lots of guns.
Yeah.
It's just funny how that turned out. Fill us in more. What else did you build? I might have forgot a lot of things. What else did you build?
I built those wooden slot machines, too.
Yeah, the slot machines. Your house on Orleans Avenue, you did extensive work there. You took it from the ground up. What exactly type of work did you do there?
On Orleans?
Yeah.
Oh, helping the neighbors to work on their houses. I did painting.
How about mansard roofs?
Oh, yeah, I put that mansard roof up there, yeah. It's still up.
And what about the interior work?
The what?
The interior work you did on that house?
I remodeled all the trim, sanded it all down, varnished it up, flexed it, and varnished it.
That's still there.
Yeah.
That's still there. What about tools? Do you have a lot of tools?
What?
Tools. You have a lot of tools?
I got a lot of tools. I got those tools in the shed. I got 5 of them set up, electric tools, and that nobody picked them up.
What about as far as tools? How old are some of your tools in there?
Some of those tools are 20, 25 years old.
And did your mother not buy you some type of bench or saw?
The 10-inch table saw from the city of Roebuck, $23.
Your mother bought you that, right?
Yeah, for Christmas, yeah.
Wow, that's a nice gift.
Yeah.
That must have been 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still in fine shape.
It's still in good shape, yeah.
How about that lathe? Where'd you get that lathe from?
That
Lathe.
radio?
A lathe, L-A-T-H-E, woodworking lathe.
No, I didn't have that. I never used that.
Okay. What about some of your other equipment you got as far as tools? Drill
I
press?
got a lot of electrical equipment. And I've got a lot of carpentry stuff, a lot of woodworking was big.
Yeah. Are some of those tools that you had when you were a teenager?
I've got some of them that my mother bought for Christmas and I bought and that.
What happened to your father's tools?
My father's tools, he didn't, that's all I was a mason and a chisel and a hammer and that. He didn't
Have much tools?
No.
So when he basically would put a sidewalk in, he would just mix the cement by hand.
Well, if it was small, yeah, but if it was a big, lengthy sidewalk or something else, he'd get Empire to drop 2 yards of cement.
Is that who taught you how to do cement?
Right?
Is that how taught you how to do cement?
Did my
Your
father
father
teach
teach
me?
you how to be a cement mason?
My father? Well, I picked it up when I worked with him. Yeah. Well, I worked with Uncle Andy a lot, too.
Well, you mentioned you had an Uncle Andy and Uncle Johnny, and Uncle Andy was by foremost the best craftsman. Did your father ever work with Uncle Andy and Uncle Johnny?
No, no.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. They just didn't.
They lived right next door, practically.
No, when they lived on Eli, we lived on Old Lane.
Just on the other side of the creek, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't
across the
long
bridge on that wooden bridge.
They never worked together?
No.
Did they ever meet each other? Did they ever talk to each other?
Well, they come for Christmas and New Year's or something.
Did your father get along with them?
Well, we weren't that close friends with them, no.
But the Uncle Andy and Uncle Johnny, that was your mother's two brothers.
Yeah.
Did your mother get along with them?
She was always fighting with Uncle Andy, yeah.
So maybe that's the reason why your father didn't talk, because his wife was fighting with the brother,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to get involved in the middle of it.
Well, they weren't vicious fight. They just argue about stuff,
What about?
about money, about the house, and about when they're going to move out, where they're going to go.
Did they ever were they ever left on good terms?
Who?
Your mother and your two brothers, were they ever left on good terms?
Oh yeah, when they got sick or something, she was right there for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cakes for them and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't that vicious, no.
No. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna start reading. What's your dog tag number?
42965.
That's the passcode to open up the book. We're on the 15th chapter. We're on page 450, which is a patrols on the Rhine and V-Day. Patrols on the Rhine and V-Day. I got a ton of text messages for you. Do you want me to wait till later to answer all these questions you're asking about V-Day and stuff?
Well, give me some now.
Okay, a couple of them now. And I know a lot of these are repetition, but a lot of people jump in listening to you brand new every night. One of the biggest things was when you got drafted, did you adjust to basic training very easily? Were you in good enough physical shape to do all the exercises and all the...
Yeah, well, I was running.
Well, you were in good enough shape to slide right through basic
Yeah.
training? And how about all the people you went to basic training with? Were they all from around New York and Pennsylvania?
New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey.
It seems to me that you're in 3 different camps before you're sent overseas. You were in Camp Breckenridge, you were in San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston,
Yeah.
and you're in the 3rd one. Which one of those camps did you like the best?
I like the San Antonio one.
Why is that?
Well, it was different. It was different. It was a Spanish town. I don't speak Spanish or nothing.
Well, the second text was, they understand that you fought in a European theater. Could you have volunteered for the Pacific theater, to go to the Pacific?
Did I volunteer?
Could you have volunteered if you wanted to?
No.
To fight in the Pacific? No?
No.
So-
I don't want to go to the Pacific. No.
Why is that?
The Chinese, the Japanese are crazy over there.
And also, another text was, many of the soldiers that were wounded in the Battle of Bulge, they couldn't get any help immediately, froze to death, or had trench foot, or they had frostbite. Did you ever have trench foot or frostbite?
I got punched right now, yeah.
And after 80 years, you're still in pain all the time, or just once?
Well, when the trigger's down to that temperature, it kicks it off again.
And I was told that many of the soldiers that were wounded that couldn't get help right away just froze to death. It just froze to death.
Well, I think if you're wounded, I think they help you right away if they can find you. But if you're buried in the heap of snow, they can't see you.
The next question was, being that Patton, General Patton, was so dominant in the European theater, did you ever work under him or did you ever see him?
Third Army, I worked with him, yeah.
Or tell us how that was.
Patton was a regular soldier.
How'd you run into him?
I ran into him, we were sleeping in a barn. We were walking all day in the rain while the barn to hide it, and there was straw in there. So we crawled into the straw. I was sleeping about 2 hours. Post didn't hide the Jeep too well, and Patton picked the Jeep up and said, "What the hell you guys do? Get your ass up and get the next checkpoint. Go."
And what time was this at?
That was 3 o'clock in the morning.
And how long were you sleeping for before Patton came in?
That one?
How long were you getting some rest for? How long were you sleeping for before Patton came in?
About 3 hours.
So you got a little bit of rest.
Yeah.
And so Patton, did he wait for you to get out of the barn or did he just tell you to go and you went?
Oh, we went, yeah.
Went right away.
Well, he checked us when he got down there, too.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah.
What was a weapon that most of the soldiers carried during World War II?
And then one rifle.
And what did you carry?
I carried well, we were heavy weapons. I carried a pistol, a carbine, and an M1.
And tell us about the machine gun and heavy weapons.
Heavy weapons was a receiver, tripod weighed 35 pounds, the receiver weighed 25 pounds with the water in it. And there was 5 cavalry bearers that carried weapons, that carried ammunition.
Another text message was, why was your regiment called the Diaper Brigade?
They're all young kids, 19 years old.
How about the rest of the platoons? Were they all young kids?
Well, Lane was 42, and he couldn't stand it. He got sick, and they discharged him. He lived in outside of Buffalo.
So at what age do you think should be a cutoff? Because I know your body breaks down where you can't fight and you can't.
19.
19?
19.
What do you think, how the soldiers' conditions in their 20s? Aren't they good enough to fight?
Well, they weren't in condition. They smoked too much, and they drank and all that nonsense.
And you said that the Red Cross passed out cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, Philip Morris, and they had the cabs laid at Philip Morris, Lucky Strike, Pall Mall, and all that.
Another text came in, you mentioned that you're in Lucky Strike after the war was over with. You're in Camp Lucky Strike to get your papers to be discharged. How long did you stay in Camp Lucky Strike?
About 3 weeks.
And what were your duties in Camp Lucky Strike?
Well, I was taking care of the fire watches at night. I was the one that kept the stoves going, kept the fire away from getting into the walls.
And where was Camp Lucky Strike at?
Outside of New York.
I see. And
right on the ocean.
You said every one of those camps were named after a pack of cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
Did each one of those camps supply you with those cigarettes too?
The Red Cross did that.
So you're in Camp Lucky Strike. Would they give you any type of cigarette brand you wanted, or just Lucky's?
No, they wouldn't. The camp was there for your occupation. Red Cross was the one that gave you the cigarettes and all that nonsense.
Do you think those camps are still named that today?
No.
Another question was, if the soldiers weren't killed during World War II, do you think they died as a result of receiving all these cigarettes, non-filtered cigarettes, 20 or 30 years later?
No, I don't think
as a result of smoking?
No. They got shot or took the job. They couldn't stand up to it.
Right. What was the best part of being in World War II?
Best part? The furloughs.
Where'd you go on your furloughs?
Went to Owensboro. I went to, when I got into France, I went to Rennes, I went to Marseille, I went all over.
How did you afford the furloughs? Did they advance you money for your pay?
They gave you $135.
And that was enough to-
in French money.
That was enough to get by? That was enough to get by?
Well, if you buy for a restaurant or something, but you had U.S. sold facilities where you stayed overnight.
Another question was, how bad was the black market in Paris? Did you witness the black market?
They were selling right and left there, all open, wide open. Nobody seemed to stop them.
The MPs did it?
No, MP did certain jobs and they didn't pull where I was at. In black market, people were starving for the stuff we had, and they would buy it, and there was a set price on it. The civilians.
Before we got to Paris, Germany occupied it for 4 years. What type of shape was Paris in building-wise?
What was?
Before you physically yourself got to Paris, it was occupied by the German infantry for 4 years. What kind of shape was it in?
The houses?
The city itself.
Well, the military keep everything ship-shape, whether it's German or French or Italian or American.
So both the Germans and the Americans kept the towns that they were occupied.
That was part of the army routine, yeah.
Do you think there's many of those Nazis, the next generation, living in Paris today?
They go to Paris?
Yeah, do you think they're living in...
You mean the veterans?
Yeah.
The German veterans? Sure.
Did you know if many of the American GIs ended up living in Paris after the war?
No, I didn't know anybody. I think I knew Stevie went to Paris with Millie.
What was that now?
Huh?
Who went to Paris?
Uncle Stevie went to Paris with Millie.
Okay.
On a vacation.
Oh, vacation.
Yeah.
Okay. 12 minutes. The next question was, when you ran out of ammunition, were you able to scrounge up ammunition from Germans that were deceased or German bunkers that ammunition?
Different caliber, you wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't
different
fit.
caliber. 1/8 of an inch caliber different than road fire.
The next question about ammunition, did you ever run out?
Certainly.
And then what'd you do? You'd be a sitting duck.
We get them up, hide up in the woods so you find out what they were going to do for ammunition.
And then what did you eventually do for ammunition?
Huh?
What did you eventually do for ammunition?
What did I do?
If you had to hide up in the woods when you ran out of ammunition, how did you get your ammunition eventually?
Well, I had radios.
Okay. Like most of the German soldiers were wearing white because of the snow, the camouflage. What were you wearing?
Took a sheet off a bed somebody in the civilian put around us.
Is that what most of the American GIs
Yeah, we were never get together for our stuff. No. Matter of fact, we didn't get issued rubber gloves. We had the ones I wore to school till almost the end of the war.
With the little buckles?
Yeah, with the 3 buckles. Yeah.
They can't keep you dry.
No, they weren't waterproof or nothing. They were cold as hell. That's where they got transport.
The next text is, when you're in the forest, deep into the forest, what kind of wildlife did you see?
Deer. I've never seen a black bear. Never seen a black bear. Raccoons. The biggest thing I saw was a deer.
Besides fighting the German infantry, was there other allies of the Germans fighting there?
No what?
Besides fighting the Germans, was there any other allies of the Germans you were fighting?
Our allies?
No, their allies. Did the Germans have allies that you were fighting?
They had some of the French. They had some
How
of
about
the
Italy?
Huh?
Italy?
Italy, Mussolini was with him, yeah.
Did you fight against many Italians?
No, the Italians were in a different theater.
That's amazing. The next question is, when you came across a Panzer tank that was broken down on the side of the road, did the American GI strip it or disable it?
Just went by it.
You didn't strip it?
Why would they strip it? What are they going to do with it? They can't carry it. They're removable.
No, I meant to make it so the Panzer tank couldn't be used again.
Well, the Panthers, if it was disabled, when they were there, they disabled themselves.
I see.
Because they knew we'd be using it.
Was most of the Panzer tanks tracks rubber or were they steel?
Tracks were mostly steel.
Steel, I see. Was your whole crew of mechanics that just worked on tanks?
Back at the base, yeah.
But not in the field?
Well, we didn't work out. We didn't do any maintenance on the field. If it broke down, they left us. We didn't have the equipment to begin with.
The next text was, did you ever drive a motorcycle with a sidecar during World War II?
I seen them. I drove one. I drove out on the icing street and that. I drove one, yeah. With a side carriage, yeah.
Where was that at?
That was in Sweeps.
Oh, Treeps. And was the ice, were you able to maneuver the cycle around the corners?
Well, I had to slow down. I never fell off of it.
No.
I didn't ride it that much. It's too damn cold.
Did you have someone in a sidecar?
No. I wasn't that familiar with it. I didn't want to put anybody in a sidecar. If I went over that motorcycle fell on top of him, they'd probably kill him.
Yeah.
So I didn't fool over that.
Did you run across many flamethrowers?
Flamethrowers?
Yeah.
We had them in the Army, but I never used them. They used them more in Pacific.
How about any gas? Did you ever use any gas bombs?
Grenades?
Poisonous gas?
Gas?
Yeah, any poisonous gas?
No, that was illegal. You couldn't do that.
That was against the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, you couldn't do that.
Did you see many violations of the Geneva Convention?
No.
You didn't? Did the SS violate the Geneva Convention often?
They took a lot of the issues for granted. They took a lot of issues for granted.
Most American troops were teenagers. How old was most of the SS?
Probably teenagers in the line outfits, but the ones that up in the where the brains were, they were older. They were in command. These 19 years old just tell you go over there, stay over there, shoot somebody or whatever you gotta do.
So when you finally got out of the war, you went right to your house on Orleans Avenue, right?
Yeah.
You moved right back in. Yes.
6.
Well, I'm gonna start reading a little bit, and let's see how we do. This is when Mr. Jeckovich is back from the hospitals in Paris, and he's on the front line of the Battle of Bulge. We were occupying a small farmhouse near our gun positions, and we felt pretty secure, as there was a Sherman tank at the next farmhouse 200 yards to our east. There was also a mortar outpost along with a string of riflemen stretching a mile in each direction. It was fairly warm in the farmhouse, and someone had made a fire in the fireplace. We slept on a floor with several blankets, and the men had scrounged from the upstairs bedrooms. I removed my boots as usual. My feet were soaked. I laid my wet socks beside the fireplace, hoping they would not burn up as I slept. I made a mental note as to where my boots were drying. In the event I needed them in a hurry, after munching on part of a K-ration I had in my field jacket, I soon fell asleep. Did any of the soldiers lose their boots?
How would they lose? Well, if they took them off, I don't know why they would take them off. It would be colder. But if they took them off and they had to get out of there, they'd forget about the boots and run in their bare feet or with the socks on.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did many of the soldiers sleep in sleeping bags?
They wouldn't sleep. No, they weren't permitted. No sleeping bags. You
Why
could put
not?
the sleeping bag down on the ground and lay on top of it.
Why wouldn't
You
you
got
allow?
your sleeping bag, you zip it up, and then if you need to get out of there, you have a hell of a time getting out.
You'd be stuck.
You know, the zipper would get stuck or you get excited and everything else.
So let me picture this. You'd open up your sleeping bag, lay it on the ground, and there was a luxury to be inside of a building now. Is Norm, you're doing that in the snow, right? Norm,
Well, we didn't spend much time in the houses,
then where'd you sleep most of the time?
except outside.
Okay, so let me just understand. You lay your sleeping bag flat, you wouldn't get inside of it, and what would you do with your weapon?
Stay with me,
Be right on your side?
huh?
Be right on your side when you're sleeping?
I put it right to the side of me, yeah.
Were you a light sleeper if you heard some
I was a
shells?
real light sleeper,
So if you
yeah.
heard some shells going
I
off,
could hear a door click,
so you would be right up.
yeah.
I see. Was it a rule when all the soldiers were sleeping that most of the soldiers were sleeping, I should say, someone always had to be on guard duty?
Oh, yeah, yeah, everybody took turns on guard duty, yeah.
When you had guard duty many times, was it usually pretty peaceful?
You know what?
All the times you had guard duty, was it usually pretty peaceful? Was it peaceful all the times
Peaceful?
you were on guard duty?
Well, we would come close to them, or they'd go by us, and we didn't make a fuss about it. The German patrol would by 7, 8 men, and they're all well armed. We see them, they don't see us, we just shut up and let them go by.
And what would be the reason why you didn't open up on it?
Well, I would get killed. They overpower us.
Okay, there was more of them than you.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they didn't pick up.
Huh?
I'm surprised they didn't pick up of your presence being there. You must have been hidden pretty good.
Well, don't forget that places you could hide yourself pretty well.
How many minutes here?
2.
Okay. I'm with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. We're reading his book, Their Mother's Sons. Mr. John J. Jeckovich is a World War II veteran from the Battle of Bulge. He was in Company H, 2nd Battalion, 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. And Mr. Jeckovich was awarded the Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars. There's approximately less than 100,000 men and women from World War II alive, and there's less than 8,000 combat veterans of World War II alive. Mr. Jeckovich, it happens to be one of them. They started off with 16,400,000 World War II vets, men and ladies, and we're down to less than 16,300,000 are gone, and we're down to less than 100,000. So if you want to text Mr. Jeckovich any questions, no matter what they might be, text them at 407-366-0000. Text 407-366-0000. Or as we say in South Carolina, 407-366-double-lot. 407-366-double-lot. Mr. Jeckovich will be gladly to answer any texts that come through. He'll give it his personal attention. He'll read them and he'll give me the answers, and he might answer them directly, or I might help him in relaying the message to you. But you'll definitely get a message. Mr. Jeckovich is in fine shape, and he lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today's a gift. That's how Mr. Jeckovich lives. So text him any questions, and I'll be glad to relay them to him.
20 seconds.
Did you want me to gather up some more text messages for tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
You've been answering a lot so far.
Yeah.
And there's a lot on longevity, but we'll still go ahead and start that, because there's a lot of new people every day,
Uh-huh,
okay?
okay.
So you have no problem